What's going on, y'all? This is your favorite music journalist, Poppy Cleve, and today let's talk about Jazmine Sullivan's Heaux Tales and Motels. Now, what's going to be different with this video is that not only am I going to give you guys my thoughts and feelings on why I like this project so much, but I also believe it will be really important to include a black woman in this video to get her thoughts and feelings about this project, because this is a project about black women. So for our special guest, she's a creative curator, a photographer, graphic designer, and also a student of Abolotion, Miss Tori Brown. And I will say this, she had a lot to say about this project. Now let's get to the video. Now, Jazmine Sullivan is one of those artists where if you know, you know. She's one of the few artists of today that possesses raw, powerful, and just pure vocal prowess. With earth-shattering records such as Bust Your Windows, Need You Bad, Lions, Tigers, and Bears, and even like her amazing album Reality Show, she's not only shown and proved herself as an amazing vocalist, but also she's cemented herself as one of the greatest songwriters of our generation. She has so many songs that make you feel like she's talking to you, where you feel like you're the one that's causing her pain, and it's like, chill. But now, while most people may say she's criminally underappreciated and underrated, I think with Heaux Tales, she may have put that narrative to its end. Before the release of her EP, the last time we heard from Miss Sullivan was back in 2017 with the song Insecure featuring Bryson Tiller, that was also featured on Issa Rae's HBO classic TV series Insecure.
I know that I was waiting for a very long time for this album.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've always felt this connection to Jazmine Sullivan and her music. So like, not hearing from her for such a long period of time was very difficult for me. Because it was like, I can only listen to old music for how long? You know?
Fast forward to 2021, January 8th to be exact, Jazmine delivers Heaux Tales, a project that not only set the tone of 2021 in the realm of R&B, but as music as a whole that year. Rather than just putting together a collection of songs and calling it a EP, Jazmine puts together a project that's super focused with a concept that's ambitious and done with great execution. Spending just over 32 minutes, we are nothing but a fly on the wall listening and embodying women's insight about sex, romance, and their escapades.
In the Apple Music like summary, like, you know how they have those album summaries? And there it talks about how she basically like brought a group chat to life. And that's exactly how it feels. Like, I'm listening to the music and it's like my girlfriend sending voice memos in the chat, like talking about what's going on. Like, that's exactly how it feels. And I think when it comes to Black feminism, Black liberation, Black womanhood in particular, those are the kind of narratives that are more important. And instead of basing your narratives off theory, basing your theory off of narrative. So like listening to Black women, hearing their stories, and then building the theory around that, instead of saying like, this is Black womanhood, and then trying to apply that. And like I said, I think Jazmine did that very eloquently and seamlessly.
You're really good at what you do. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. Now, the original release of Heaux Tales comprised of 8 songs that were coincided with confessional spoken word interludes from different women who are actually the center of the project and what makes it whole. And with these stories and confessions, they're coming from voices that don't get heard enough. These are voices that usually be shunned upon, voices that are usually silenced, and especially with Black women. Now, this is a project where Jazmine doesn't just share her stories alone. The EP title itself is a reclamation of the word hoe. It dismisses the stereotypes, the derogatory stereotypes that are usually associated with that term, and Jazmine actually morphs it into a new definition, morphing it into something that's more honorable and triumphant. Arguably her most cohesive project to date, Heaux Tales is an album that's bold, confident, and just honest. Usually we hear Sullivan Usually when we hear Sullivan, it's usually in a state of heartbreak, pain, and betrayal. But on the Heaux Tales, she seems more liberated and optimistic. What's so crazy about this EP is that with this being her fourth project in her discography, like, Jazmine shows that she's a vet and she's no one to play with. She's not like most of her peers. She separates herself and is proven throughout this project. Like, the way she's able to maneuver and modulate her voice on the whim, how she's so agile and acrobatic, is like she does it so effortlessly, and it's like come on, man. It's like it's like watching, okay, so you know how you watch, if you ever watched The Last Airbender, how Aang like airbends and he's so agile and he does airbending with such ease. That's what it's like witnessing Jazmine throughout Heaux Tales, and not just in Heaux Tales, but in her whole discography. She's ebullient, she's brilliant, and she has so much emotion that pulls you in deeper. And it's like, it's something to witness, to be honest. Like, and I'm mad that she's not even coming to Florida, but whatever, bro. Like, maybe if she sees this video, maybe she'll come to Tampa or somewhere in Florida, bro. But yeah. Now, throughout this project, Jazmine also ponders on the idea of what can be gained and lost through love and sex. The album opens up with Bodies, a song where Jazmine is actually self-reflecting.
Bodies was like the perfect intro to this album. And like, wow, mantra music.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I just made that up, but I'm specifically talking about songs that like songs that feel like mantras. They're not necessarily mantras, but they feel that way. Mm-hmm. And I think that Bodies is very reminiscent of that, like the repetitive nature of it. But I think that's what makes it so like good, because you're gonna tell yourself over and over again, like, I shouldn't do this anymore. I should stop doing this. But it's like, whatever. When you have like when you don't care anymore, or when you just don't care, like, you'll tell yourself that, but you don't care. So that's particularly why I like love that song so much. Mm-hmm. She had things to say.
And then we move on to Pick Up Your Feelings, a song that's cutthroat, unapologetic, and just straight to the point. Jazmine is kind of coming close to a breaking point where she's actually fed up with the person that she's been dealing with in a relationship. Obviously, her now former lover, she finds out that he's been double dipping, he's been doing his own thing, wowing. And like, she's come to a point where she's done with it. And I think this is one of the highlights of the album, where like, when I say feels liberated and optimistic, like, she's like straight to the point where she's like, I'm done, like, pick up your feelings, bruh. Like, she's not with the forgiveness or any of that. She's moving on, she's moving forward. So we then get to Ari's Tale, where we find Ari Lennox reflecting on how really good sex plays such a big role in a past relationship. Like, as she put it in her poem or her spoken word, she was saying that it was so good that she was willing to put up with the toxicity, and also it came to a point where she was going to let it ruin her career. And that's crazy. Just the thought of us not getting shea butter baby because, yeah, she was wilding for sure. But I mean, bravo to him, but yeah, she wilding for sure. And also, Ari's Tale, it also connects the dots to Put It Down and On It. Now in Put It Down, Jazmine begins to sing about a guy who's only good for fulfilling her sexual desires. While she may feel that he's not worthy of anything else in life, Jazmine seems to be okay with that, as long as he's doing what needs to be done in the bedroom, that is. It also comes to a point where Jazmine says that the D is so good that she's willing to pay his rent.
This is one of those moments where, like, I feel like people are not being honest. I have a lot of guy friends who I feel like have accepted a lot of very favorable and nice gifts from women. You may not be paying his rent, but you might as well be, like the things in which you are supplying him. And you know, I have done some stupid things. I've done some stupid things for men. So who am I? Who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? But rent, like where he lived, because if he's in Texas, LA, like who is paying that? I'm not paying that.
I feel you.
But in general, I do think a lot of women like will give either of themselves or give things to men. And then like when people talk about it publicly, they try to shame other women, but it's like a lot of y'all like, and just like in one of the interludes, I can't remember which one it was, where it's like a group of women talking.
Yeah.
And she's like, all of y'all trick, like everybody tricks.
Oh, you talking about I'm sorry, keep continuing.
But like that's literally the point. Whether you're paying his rent or you're having sex with him or you're cooking for him, like all of those things in a lot of ways are exchanges. You might be getting something out of it. It's just most of the time not worth it.
Then we get to On It. Jazmine and Ari Lennox come together to perform a otherworldly duet that feels spiritual and just like, I never knew it could be possible to make a song that feels so erotic yet feel like a gospel record at the same time. The two singers come together to deliver a harmonious vocal performance that's powerful enough to entrance you and also to lift up your spirit into another dimension. If there was if I could describe R&B with one song, this would be one of my choices. It's perfect in my opinion. Another great feature that we get on this project is with Anderson .Paak on Price Tags. Possessing new soul soundscapes with crisp and snappy drum patterns, Price Tags talks about using sex as more of a transaction than anything else. And Jazmine positions sex as more of a superpower and using it for her own materialistic gain. With Anderson .Paak, on the other hand, he comes to a point where he comes to a realization that she may be only there for his money with whoever girl that he's dating, that he's talking about on this record. Then there's also a point where like he comes to a realization that he's also having a baby that's not even his. Yeah. But anyway, Anderson .Paak does what has to be done on this record. He hasn't missed in a very long time. Yeah, he did his thing on this. Now with the other side, which also draws a little bit of a connection with Price Tags, the other side is more of a daydream fantasy of living a lifestyle where a rapper is providing for her. And I don't think it's necessarily specific to just a rapper, but just in general someone who's wealthy that would provide for her, and where she just daydreams about just being taken care of. And this follows through with A Girl Like Me featuring her. Served as the EP's closer, this is a song about experiencing loss and loneliness. Amongst tangy guitar riffs, both singers on this song are frustrated and angry, and you can hear it in their voices. You can hear the frustration within their voices as they sing about a guy that's abandoned them for someone who is more attractive. And this is someone who happens to be more conformed to today's society of their idea of what beauty is, what it is to be beautiful, what it is to be sexy. And this is really dictated by social media, quote unquote, the Instagram baddies. You can hear her saying about these hoes in Fashion Nova dresses, which is interestingly enough because this whole point of this EP is to embrace I guess wholeness. And I think it's interesting that it comes to this kind of conflict where this guy that you've been seeing for so long has now abandoned you for someone who you believe is more attractive, someone who is possessing things that you don't have. And it comes, wow, man, us men are really trash. The more I talk about this, we are really trash. With the deluxe part of Heaux Tales, we get an additional 5 new tracks and interludes, with h.e.r being one of them. And this is one of the very few cases where we actually get a deluxe, where it actually feels like an expansion, a worthy expansion of the original project. I love Tragic and I love Roster. On Tragic, Jazmine talks about experiencing tragic pain, and on Roster, she talks about having options of men to choose from. And within this deluxe, we also get a new perspective, which is a male perspective on Bruh's Tale. On Bruh's Tale, we get a guy who is talking about how he finally admits his feelings to a woman, how he opens up, how he shows his heart to this woman, only for it to be reciprocated in the opposite way, where she's not feeling mutual, she doesn't have mutual feelings. She hits him with the bro, and also pretty much he just gets friend zoned pretty much. And he also mentions how like she pulled at him on him. Just listen to the track, remember, just listen to it.
I felt like that was perfectly placed and very intentional for that very reason of what you said. But if you listen to Bro Tales and then Antoinette's Tale, and when she's talking about how men can't, like, they can dish it out, but they can't take it, and listening to those back to back really like was literally perfect. Because I think what men can learn most from the album is that things are cyclical. Like, once people notice patterns, they adopt those patterns. So if people continuously feel as though like men lie, cheat, and play, people aren't going to stop engaging with men, unfortunately. But the result is instead they adopt those practices and they learn to play the game better than you. So ultimately, I would take this as like a cautionary warning. Like, if you are someone who likes to play people, you will eventually get played, no matter who you are. And I think that's like a lesson to be learned within the music. Like, if you cannot actively engage with someone romantically, even platonically, like, you're gonna end up with the shit end of the stick. Like, I don't know what else to tell you.
And to wrap things up, the songs on this project are raw and straightforward. What makes Jazmine so great is that she has the ability to write songs that are so down to earth and so relatable, that feels so natural, where it doesn't come off as preachy. It's more so of a conversation to be had. With an EP that sounds like an album, Heaux Tales is a testament that Jazmine belongs in the elite tier of the R&B genre, giving us stylistic soul music that is not just a voice for herself, but also a voice to Black women as a whole. It's a project about representation. It's a project about having a shared experience. It's a project about unity, and it's a project about just being heard. And if I had to give, actually, I'm not gonna give a grade to this project. I just think it's a must listen, an album that's important, an album that we should be giving more love to. And that's all I gotta say about that. That's my conclusion of this video. I hope you guys love the video. First off, I want to say shout out to Tori for even being in this video with me, to agreeing to talk about this project a bit. She was amazing, she was lovely, and yeah, I hope we continue to do more work together. Also, man, I hope you guys really did enjoy the video. Please like and subscribe, share it to your friends, and actually, better yet, let's tag Jazmine in the video. Maybe she may get some intent. I don't know. Maybe she may look at it, maybe she may like it, we don't know, but let's hope for the best. But I want to say thank you guys again for looking at this video, for looking at it all the way to the end. If you did watch it to the end, I love you. But without further ado, peace and love. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Triumphant.